The Jets host the Chargers on Sunday. LA is favored by 7 on the road. Todd Fuhrman, take your pick.
This game would be a slam dunk for me if the Jets had a different starting quarterback in Josh McCown. Unfortunately, the reality of the NFL season, they're going with Bryce Petty. But I think when I look at this Jets team, they've shown a ton of heart. They've showed a ton of fight. And this team, aside from one blemish against Carolina, has been outstanding as a home underdog all season long. This is a Chargers team who did what the Chargers do, much to our chagrin last week in an Arrowhead. I wouldn't be surprised if they show up flat, if they lost this game outright. I'm not considering laying the points there by any stretch of the imagination. Give me the Jets plus that generous touchdown.
Wow, I'm blown away by this, Todd Fuhrman. I couldn't disagree more. I think that LA is going to crunch them. They're still alive even after the debacle in Kansas City. Matchup-wise, Bosa and Ingram against that offensive line and Bryce Petty? It's not a fair fight. Phillip Rivers is going to shred that packed-it-in Jets team. 35-7, the Chargers maul the Jets. The Browns visit the Bears on Sunday. John Fox's team is favored by 6.5. Todd Fuhrman, take your pick.
Well, the one thing we know about John Fox, as head coach of the Bears, every time he's installed as a favorite, Adam, not only does he fail to cover the numbers, he can't even win these games outright. It doesn't matter who they're playing. But, oh, there are some different storylines here why I think this narrative gets shifted on Sunday. This is what we'll call the Mitchell Trubisky revenge game. As he shows the Cleveland Browns they missed their chance to grab a franchise-caliber quarterback. They've seen what life is like with Deshaun Kaiser under center. And while the Bears don't do a ton offensively, it's their defense that makes a key stop late, forcing a short field or two. John Fox gets off the schneid as a favorite and covers in the process. Give me the Chicago Bears minus the point.
That nugget is amazing, and it's so true. Fox has never won a game. It's crazy. Think about the weight of that when he's been the favorite as a head coach of the Chicago Bears. I'm going to grab Cleveland. Now, understand, I'm picking Chicago to win the game. I said early on, after I realized I was dead wrong on the Browns looking like a professional football team and winning 5 games, they're going to lose every single one. They don't have a quarterback. They're the Ivy Leaguers. They all got fired. They don't have a clue. I'm going to take Cleveland, though, with the points because the Bears, they're like a box of chocolates. You don't know what to expect. I mean, one week they're bludgeoning the Cincinnati Bengals. The next week it's like they got postage stamps on their foreheads and they've mailed it in. Listen, Fox is terrible. He's going to get fired. Maybe Hugh Jackson rallies the troops. I do love your angle on Trubisky, though. Hugh Jackson wanted him. Listen, put him in the same category as Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson. I'm going to take the Browns, though, with the points. New Orleans Saints favored by 6 on Sunday when they host the Atlanta Falcons. Todd Fuhrman, take your pick.
Adam, one of the first things I always look for in trying to handicap games late in the season, even one of this magnitude, is teams that have a slight intangible advantage. And Sean Payton came right out after a lethargic effort from the Saints on Sunday, albeit in a win against the Jets, and called out everyone on his team. Said, you know, we're going through the motions. We don't quite look like the juggernaut we did earlier in the season, to paraphrase. And it's shown from an against the spread perspective where the Saints are 1-4 against the number their last 5 games. Now, I know they're beat up on the offensive line. I know that defense isn't quite the same formidable unit that we saw earlier in the season. But the nice luxury they're going to have for the revenge scenario against Atlanta is the services of Alvin Kamara catching balls out of the backfield. We only saw a glimpse of him the first time. And oh, by the way, he caught 3 passes. I think this is where the ground game gets on track. You get a steady dose of Kamara, Ingram, Drew Brees gets things going in play action, and the Saints make a few key stops defensively. The Falcons just don't do it for me. This team's been flirting with disaster. It finally catches up with them here. Give me the Saints. I think they win this game comfortably in the Superdome.
You know, it's funny. The reason I'm smiling ear to ear is I agree with your analysis. I agree with everything that you said. We talked about it to start the show. But I'm going to take Atlanta with the points. I think it's going to be a much more competitive game. Don't misinterpret. I'm picking New Orleans to win. New Orleans is better. Still a ton of meaning for the Saints in this game. I just have too much respect for the Falcons in terms of keeping it competitive. You made a great point on the Saints defense. Still really good, but maybe not what it was. New Orleans wins, but I'm going to grab the points. Tevin Coleman's coming back. Grab the points with the Atlanta Falcons. Miami heads to Arrowhead Stadium this weekend. Chiefs are favored by 10 in this one. Todd Fuhrman, take your pick.
Well, Kansas City, to their credit, they've gotten over the malaise of the midseason slump where they look like going from world beaters at the beginning of the year to a team that was going to miss out on the postseason. But it's a little bit different when you have this kind of sandwich spot against the Dolphins and you're a double-digit favorite coming off home wins in dominant fashion against the Chargers last week, the Raiders the week before, and oh, by the way, a season finale against the Denver Broncos. I like what I've seen from Alex Smith again, getting back to basics. More importantly, they're getting Kareem Hunt on track. But this is a big, big price tag, and I get the feeling it could be a little bit of a sleepy, lethargic performance. Kansas City wins the game, but Miami covers this big, big number.
Todd. Kansas City is going to win and cover. Here's the deal. Andy Reid's a great coach. I don't want to throw that word around, but I've argued this for years. Look at what he did with Marcus Peters. Not every coach in the NFL would do that and could get away with it. He deactivated and suspended one of his stars because he was out of control. The team was out of control. They're 2-0 since, and they're going to end up going to the playoffs. They've been able to stabilize that situation. On the flip side, I mean, Buffalo last week against the Miami Dolphins was the best bet of the week because it's Jay Cutler. They had their Super Bowl against New England. It's over. Jay Cutler doesn't give a damn. He's thinking about vacation with Tristan Cavallari, being out on the balcony, naked, looking at the beach, looking at the ocean. You think he cares about the Kansas City Chiefs right now? Give me the Chiefs to win and cover. The Buffalo Bills head to Foxborough on Sunday. The Patriots are favored by 12 in this one. Todd Fuhrman, take your pick.
This is a massive number by this rivalry standards, Adam. It's been quite some time since you've seen New England install as a favorite of this magnitude. Actually, the last time they were 13.5-point favorites, they ended up winning the game by a narrow margin, failing to cover. And an also unique anomaly here, the road team has actually dominated this series from an against the spread perspective, going 6-0-1 against the spread the last 7 meetings. I don't love anything Buffalo does offensively. They don't have big plays in the passing game. But Tyrod Taylor at least gives them a stabilizing influence under center, and they do have a game-breaker at running back in LaShawn McCoy. Let's throw out that 20-3 debacle the first time these teams met, because Nathan Peterman finished up that contest. Meanwhile, in New England, a little bit of infighting. They were extremely fortunate to get the W last week in Pittsburgh. I think the Patriots will win, but this looks like a little bit of inflation. Buffalo is still very much alive in the playoff chase. I think we get a great effort from the Bills, and I'll take them to cover this price tag.
I think you nailed it. I think New England wins. I'm going to grab Buffalo with the points. LaShawn McCoy will keep this game very competitive. The Seattle Seahawks head to Dallas on Sunday. The Cowboys are favored by 5. Todd Fuhrman, take your pick.
I think we saw the beginning of the end for the Seattle Seahawks last weekend in that loss against the Rams. Both you and I thought Los Angeles could do what they wanted offensively, and neither of us were disappointed. Then, after the game, you see Bobby Wagner and Earl Thomas going at it like a bunch of teenagers on social media. That's not the rallying cry a once proud franchise and championship caliber defense needs. I think the Seahawks offense will be much better than they were last week, but I don't think that'll be enough as the Cowboys will lean on Ezekiel Elliott, who supposedly is coming back in better shape than he was when he went on his sabbatical via suspension. You look at this rapidly improving Cowboys defense, which is night and day different with Sean Lee out there, and I think it's the Cowboys keeping those ever so slim playoff hopes alive with a resounding victory against Seattle.
I believe Ezekiel Elliott is a better running back than Todd Gurley, and Todd Gurley is amazing. Zeke will do exactly what Todd Gurley did to the Seattle Seahawks defense. Seattle, boomer bust team, they've gone bust. Love Ezekiel Elliott to get 190 combined yards on Sunday. I love the Dallas Cowboys to destroy the Seattle Seahawks. Let's take a look at the rest of our picks for week number 16 in the National Football League. Todd and I totally agree on the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Carolina Panthers. Todd going with Tennessee. How about that? And whoa! Todd Fuhrman? You're picking the Raiders? Really?
I am picking the Raiders. I feel this is a big number, and I have zero confidence in Nick Foles against that Raiders pass rush. I think Derek Carr is going to do enough. It's all about the number, Adam. It's the silver and black this weekend, baby.
Todd Fuhrman never picks the Raiders. That's a Christmas miracle. Of course, we want to remind our viewers, as we do every week, if you want more Todd Fuhrman, and trust me, you want more Todd Fuhrman, You can check him out on his Bet the Board podcast, easily found at bettheboardpodcast.com.